world is full of sick, sticky cretins, and I am one of them. What is the purpose of a hyper-niche subculture, if not a means of producing artifacts that future alien archaeologists will excavate and think, maybe it's a good thing this species went extinct? When ranking these subcultures, this will be my tier list. F tier, you need to be on a watch list and not the fun kind. E tier, ew. / this made my itch. D tier, bombastic side eye. C tier, neutral face of discontent. / this made me feel nothing. B tier, technically allowed into heaven. A tier, you get a big thumbs up from Papa. / I like y'all. And finally, S tier, you are the backbone of society. Let us begin. We'll start with a classic, furries. God's roadkill. You know what? I'll say it. I don't mind furries. Oh, okay. Well, your disapproval means nothing to me, okay? Now, if one of them happens to come up to me, sniffing or yiffing or whatever it is that they do, I would mace them immediately, no questions asked. But when I see them congregating together at their little conventions, where I assume they vape and rub up against each other like horny cats, I think, at least they found a community. Look, people on the spectrum need hobbies too. It's either this or they start posting to sketchy internet forum boards. Some do both, and that's called being multidimensional. B tier. Maybe I'm just desensitized to them. I am internet brain rot personified. I see this and I think, that's a community. Travel abroad students, or whatever they're called, you know what I mean. Listen, you're not fooling anybody with your little beret and fake lisp that you picked up after exploring Barcelona. Look, I'm for occasionally indulging in whatever delusion you need to cling on to in order to keep going, but I personally refuse to partake in your little attempt at seeming more cultured. I know you got mugged in Paris. You left that out of your blog, didn't you? Not to victim blame, but you deserved it. D tier, crystal / astrology girlies. Listen, I know that this is more of a light hobby for some. They're not taking it too seriously. But for all of the girlies who are legit sticking crystals up their hoo-has, y'all have opened up a Pandora's box. And beware, because the menfolk are adapting. If I hear a heterosexual boy type ever utter the words, I'm like a Virgo, moon, pie, like Capri Sun rising, I'm thinking, where did you learn that? Most of those words are indecipherable to me, and I'm tapped into the girly wavelength. It's cause he's in these streets. You whore of Babylon. I know what you're doing. You're just trying to get a girl with undiagnosed BPD and stick poke tattoos to ride your face like the Kentucky Derby. You're not fooling me. These people fall under the general California pseudoscience / spirituality umbrella, which I consider to be a statewide form of mass psychosis, where they take vaguely Eastern mysticism and the more lenient parts of Abrahamic religion and repackage it, but with none of the discipline that those philosophies demand. Like, these people will meditate every morning, but still snort lines and cyberstalk their ex. D tier. Incels. I'm talking specifically about the people who self-identify as being part of this tribe, not those who are technically involuntarily celibate, which is, a considerable amount of people. Most of these people are not on internet forums calling women femoids and uploading JPEGs of their delicate wrists. I will say that the terminology that these men have coined has become so influential. I think about the Chad meme daily, with his suspiciously large bulge and his polio-riddled legs. Has never heard a song in his entire life. What does that even mean? Is he deaf? The black and Indian flavors of Chad being named Tyrone and Chad Preet, respectively, as pedestrian and racially insensitive as they are, never failed to make me giggle because they're so unbearably uncreative. There's such a simplicity to their naming scheme. If you are wondering how I even know these terms, let's just say that my 2020 internet rabbit hole era was weird. F tier. Emo kids. These emotionally unstable icons crawled so that these ungrateful e-boys and girls could run. Emos were raw. They included the crusty and ugly. E-girls and e-boys are just genetically blessed youths that like to wear sloppy eyeliner and bite their lip. They have no grit. They've appropriated the aesthetic, but with none of the self-hatred that was the foundation of the subculture. Tuh! They make a mockery of it. Emos could be cringe at times, yes, but they were mostly teenagers. Did this subculture also produce some of the world's worst poetry? Yes, but it was usually relegated to their little MySpace pages. On occasion, maybe a talent show. The public was rarely subjected to it. And most importantly, My Immortal, the greatest work of modern literature, and you can quote me on that, emerged from this subculture. Brava, kiddos. Brava. A tier. Stands. If these people put their resources, dedication, free time, and complete disregard for basic boundaries to good use, they legit could overthrow the government. But instead, they're doing free PR for a celebrity who wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. Sad. C tier. Band kids. These little melodic perverts. As sticky and unsightly as some of them might be, I gotta hand it to them. They were just unapologetically little freaks. I can't imagine what the tension must have been like during the Christmas concert. All those flings trapped together in a pit, awkwardly making eye contact while playing Carol of the Bells. You could cut through the atmosphere with a butter knife. Much like furries, I wouldn't want to be in the same vicinity as one unless I had like a weapon of some sort on me. But I still respect them. I will always support crusty people finding companionship ethically and not via something that was manufactured in a warehouse in Portland. B tier. Disney adults. I can can handle annoying. I don't mind cringe. Heck, I would have to tolerate it. I dabble in it constantly. I don't mind Disney adults for being any of those things. What I do mind is that they're kind of sad. Seeing a grown-ass adult trying to desperately cling on to whatever remnants of their childhood they have left because it was the only time in their lives where they felt carefree and could sleep through the night without having to get up to pee. I get it, and maybe dressing up like Ariel makes the pain go away momentarily, but reality and all of your unpaid bills will creep up on you eventually when the body glitter begins to rub off. Tragic. D tier. Scene kids. The more colorful variation of emo kids who also knew how to have fun. This is my favorite flavor of cringe. Nauseatingly bright, unbearably tacky, the most flammable fabrics known to mankind. You couldn't light a match within 100 feet of these people. You would think that based on my affinity for scene and emo kids that I was one of them. Surprisingly, no. I had their cringiness but with none of their boldness. The flair for the dramatic of a theater kid but with none of the talent. And the stickiness of the band kids but with no means of alleviating my sensual frustrations. To be responsible for Roar XD means I Love You and Dinosaur. And the responsibility for groups like Blood on the Dance Floor and the like, who make what is technically considered music, their impact cannot be understated. A tier. Potterheads. Similar vibe to Disney adults. Please, read another book. Taking a Pottermore quiz for the 4th time after your breakup, where you keep getting Hufflepuff despite deliberately changing your answers because you desperately want to be assigned Gryffindor, won't make your heart heal any faster. You're nearly 40. It's time to stop. D tier. Foodies. This is a group that I can surprisingly tolerate, only because the second that they start talking, my brain transforms every line that they're saying at me into the noise that the adults in Charlie Brown make. Usually, if you are surrounded by annoying adults like this, it's cause you too are annoying. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. However, if you are new to an area or are traveling and want to look up places to eat that actually have real reviews, these people can come in handy. And for that alone, B tier. Theater kids. They're so easy to make fun of that, honestly, it's not even that fun anymore. We need to pick a new group. My suggestion? Skinny jocks and speech and debate kids. People ridicule football players all the time, since they are the stand-in for the quintessential American popular kid. Y'all are missing out on some prime real estate with those skinny-ass athletes. And if you went to a ritzy high school like I did, you'll know that they are the evil ones. Regarding speech and debate kids, I was one of them. I think that tells you all that you need to know. Going back to theater kids, I have not been subjected to a mediocre production of a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical in years, so my tolerance for these melodramatic pipsqueaks is the highest it's ever been. Your school is doing Les Mis? Fantastic. I guess somebody had to ruin I Dreamed a Dream. After that rendition, I'm rooting for the tuberculosis. C tier. Vegans. These little salad munchers get a deserved amount of flack, and honestly, every time one of them starts to talk to me about vitamin supplements or enemas, I just take out a little blood capsule that I keep in my pocket. I keep it in there just so that it stays warm. I just pop it in my mouth like a little jelly bean and bite down on it so that the blood gushes over my teeth. And as they look on in disgust and horror, I say, no, keep talking, I'm iron deficient. I personally extracted this from a baby cow, because the suffering makes it yummier. D tier. Karens. Much like Stans, if they just channeled their frustration from not having a fulfilling marriage or having children that hate them, often for valid reasons, or for not advancing up their MLM as fast as they thought they would, and they channeled that into something more constructive, imagine what they could do. They could have created a rival space program or invented keto dessert that isn't disgusting. That's the world I want to live in. F tier. Waggers. I can't really pronounce it properly because I have a feeling that this video is going to get demonetized if I do. Oddly enough, they amuse me. I want to ruffle their hair. You know, if it's not in cornrows. Not with my actual hand, because, you know, I don't want to get lice on me. But perhaps with one of those grabbing hand devices for people who are, like, mobily impaired. You know, as long as these people don't start making music or subjecting the public to it, they just kind of live their little lives in private, I don't mind them. We need to start adopting the language of homophobes when it comes to this subculture. E tier. Alright, that's where I'm gonna end this list. If this video does well, I might make a part 2. So tell me in the comment section down below if you agree, disagree with my judgments. I can't believe I gave furries B tier. I stand by it. What subcultures would you like me to rank next? Like, comment, subscribe, write me a little secret. I promise I won't tell. Shout out to my patrons! If you would like to donate to my Patreon, the link is in the description and on screen. Thank you to my other lovely patrons. Your name should be scrolling on screen as I speak. Bye.